Call the meeting to order. It's 5 minutes past 5. What was it? The vehicle repair there for $900 or so. What hasn't worked on that?
That could be tires, I'm not sure what's behind it. I know we bought 3 tires. Tom wanted us to buy 6, but 3 of those tires were not bad. And I don't have money to throw away.
What do those tires go for?
They're a lot. They're like $200 a pop.
On which truck?
The small dump. That, I know he did some work, I'm not sure what he did to it.
What is inexpensive these days?
I don't know. I just know I've almost reached the end. There was no Heinz ketchup. The one thing that I won't vary from, I won't buy a store brand. And there wasn't any the last time I went to Market Basket. That was kind of upsetting.
Did they get some more back in?
I haven't been back yet.
Yeah, it's weird. You go in 1 week, certain things will just be nothing there.
Yep.
And then the next time you're in, that's full and something else
Yeah.
missing. Like whatever's on the truck when it comes down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they spread the stuff out to make it look more full.
Yep.
So did everybody have a chance to read the minutes?
Yeah, I gave Terry something earlier. Did you make?
I did.
Yeah, that's changed.
Tom, did you have a chance to read them?
Yep, I'm all set with
All
them.
right, I'll make the motion. We approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set with those 10.
Is that these?
Yeah.
Just get this last one. What do we have done at Ford in Easton?
Tom probably bought parts. I know the little dump truck went in for repairs for something, I'm not sure what.
Okay, so it's just parts. Brakes and stuff like that, you know.
I guess they changed hands, so somebody else bought that Ford
Yeah,
dealership.
24 auto.
Yeah, I just noticed that the other day, actually.
24 Auto Group log.
Hello. I didn't do this, I didn't do that, all you want to.
Is Felsh where the PFAS are getting tested?
Huh?
Is Felsh where the PFAS goes, or?
Well, it's Alpha, but I know there's another name, cause I was no, that's the other lab, no, that might be, the one in Middleborough, I know they changed, I was in there
Oh,
once.
that's right, yeah, it used to be, SW Cole,
Yeah, somebody just bought them too, so,
yeah.
Well, the labs are getting bought up.
yeah.
Yeah. That Merle down in Marshfield, they're still,
They're still family, yeah.
yeah. That guy's daughter lives on my street in Duxbury.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so I guess the next thing on the agenda is the budget. You got capital here, you wanna do capital budget first, or?
Well, it doesn't, I mean, the budget is, I can't put in the town's numbers, I did get the,
They haven't got you any numbers yet
no,
for
I've
them?
gotten the technology and the internet parts of it, so that's updated from what I sent you.
Okay.
But the rest of it, I don't think it comes in until just before town meeting.
I don't know why they can't get those early, everybody else has to get their all that stuff together. So was your borrowing cost, have you, did you do that, or they haven't filled those in?
No, those numbers are, those are accurate.
Those are accurate?
You saw off to the side, a couple of them are last payments.
That'd be
The
good.
truck leases,
The truck, yeah, the
iron
stuff,
removal plant,
yep,
pay it off just in time to do a big project.
right. Well, works out, but.
That's the way it usually goes, there's always something to spend money on.
So I also budgeted for another hire, because at some point, we're gonna have to have somebody, as it is now, we don't man the Manley Street plant like we should, so I'm trying to force them now, I don't care if you have to stay overtime, you've gotta do what you gotta do in there to get it done, so that we're on top of it.
Talking about in addition to the replacement,
Right.
add another one, yep.
We had it before, but I let it go when they were trying to cut back, the town was trying to do all sorts of cutbacks. And we were having such a hard time hiring our last guy that,
We got the same number of people that we had in 1976 when I started here.
right,
We haven't added any people, everybody else has added a lot of people in the departments, but we haven't added anybody. So, at some point, you have to, you know, it is what it is. The only part of our operation that expanded was the office.
Right.
When I came here in '76, we had a part-time, Rhoda Johnson was here 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
She was only part-time, but then after that, we needed a full-time. But we took in all the billing, the treasurer collector used to do the billing.
Right.
And they did all the mailing, they did all that stuff, so we took all that in-house, so that's why we had to have a full-time person. So we took on a lot more of the responsibility, plus we were much more involved in setting the water rates and everything than they used to be. And making sure that we collected enough money to make the budget. Because back when I came, they used to just take some from the taxation.
Oh, you could, yeah, because it had.
We had a
split up.
$100,000 budget, and if we ran short, we were running on taxation.
Yeah.
So what do you wanna talk about here? Is this something you're looking for on?
Yeah, I'd like to get the gate turner out of the van.
So what are you gonna do with that gate turner that's in the van?
I don't know if somebody would wanna buy it, we put it up for sale and see if somebody buys it.
Well, I would think somebody would wanna buy it. It's gotta be worth some money.
I mean, it's been maintained.
Huh?
It's been maintained, so it's not,
How old is it?
it got rehabilitated before you left, so it's,
Yeah.
and it's gotta be about 10 or 12 years old.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's never seen weather.
Put it on municipal bid or gov deals or something, you'll get,
Yeah. But I just know that the exhaust cracks off, the exhaust pours into the van when you're in there, the van gets superheated, so you can't, like, you're trying to do gate turning when it's warm out, well, it gets roasting in there, and so if you're in the summertime, you don't wanna do it, cause it just gets ungodly hot. No amount of air conditioning can keep up with it. And truly, like, the blue smoke pours out of the van.
You wanna go with that type with the extender arm on it?
Yeah, they work. Well, the other issue is we rounded off a whole, when we started doing the gate turning
Yeah, the
Reverse.
directional flushing.
yeah, we rounded off a lot of gates and we found a way to fix them and we got them all fixed, so the van doesn't like, if the gate is flat out in the open, yep, it lines up right, but if the gate isn't flat out and if it's up in somebody's yard or it's on an angle, then it's kind of hard to get it. And there is so much twist to the nut inside of the turner, but not a great deflection.
so that's what we're rounding them off, you weren't square on them?
Yeah, I believe we weren't square on them. And then a couple of them, we were lucky, as they rounded off, the nuts inside were gone anyways because they were brass nuts, they were just eaten up. And I can tell you the vacuum back there, that's new. I wanna say that's less than 5 years old, but that's beginning to rust out too. I don't know what they put in the water, the gate boxes, but it sure
What's
rusts.
rusting out, man?
The new vacuum.
The tank?
Yeah, we rinse it out after each use, but it's not,
Rinse it out, leave it open
Cleaning
and
out
dry?
the,
yeah,
Yeah,
and we leave it
boxes.
open sometimes, yep, and it hasn't helped it any.
Yeah, you gotta leave it open and dry, if it sits wet, it's gonna rust.
Yeah,
But they're all gonna, I mean,
right, no matter what, it's
you
gone.
gotta dry them out.
Yep,
Well, this one here will go the same way, it won't last long.
right, I mean,
And this one here is about $75,000.
right. I mean, I don't like, even the smaller one is good, it's gets that thing out of the van and it's more usable.
Is this one a combination?
Yeah.
the expensive one's got the vacuum on it too.
Yeah, it has the vacuum, the power washer,
And the gate exercise?
yeah. So the power washer is actually good because sometimes then the mud's down there so hard.
And how are we gonna pay for that?
Well, we have free cash. That I don't have on here.
How
but I-
much of that, where'd that free cash come from?
I'll figure that one out. I knew you were gonna ask, and I should have calculated that out.
It's gotta be free cash from water, not free cash from contractors who paid to expand the system.
Yeah, I'll figure out where it can, I mean, we don't have to do capital tonight, cause it's not due yet, but it will come up.
Okay, so you figure that out, figure out what the numbers are, what we brought in
Yep,
through sprinkler charges and tie-in fees.
right,
What the totals were for last year.
so, yep. And then the other thing is, with that Walnut Street project that's happening, that's, you know, the subdivision that's part it's all West Bridgewater, but part accessible from Brockton. Getting the Walnut Street tank
What
fixed.
we can do is, you've been collecting money for that, when when a person builds a subdivision, they pay that $1,500 up front.
Yep,
That's for the expansion of the water department's
right.
physical presence of labor and trucks and tools and stuff like that. That's what that's supposed to be going for. So you can figure out how much we brought in on that. And that money can go to offset the cost of this too.
Yep,
You should have some monies. Didn't the guy on Scotland Street pay a pretty good fee on that?
yeah, he has.
So we brought in some money there, so that'll help pay for this. And this really is an expansion of the water department. You know, you're adding another tool. So,
I'll calculate it out. So then the other thing that we should go for capital for is the altitude valve for the North Elms, well, actually the Spring Street tanks. So I know we got a cost out of Patrick before, but that was with buildings and infrared units or UV units. But if we just put in if we shut off the 10-inch feed and just come off of the 60-inch feed, so we only put in one altitude valve, that should reduce the cost somewhat.
you're gonna come off what, the 12, the 16?
Yeah. So
Okay.
if we utilize that, and then we haven't been able to fund the engineering study yet, but if we go if I push Carter and Howard to just give us a price, what it would cost to put in that altitude valve, so that at town meeting, we don't have to have a special town meeting to go back for funding. So we'll fund the engineering part of it, but also fund the construction part of it if they'll give me a cost.
Fund it all through the town meeting.
Right.
Yeah. Because you're right, once that starts going out the end of Walnut Street, we need that tank back online for the
We should have
full
it
amount.
back on now.
We should,
Yeah.
but that's gonna make it even worse.
I mean, I'll
And we
try,
need those altitude valves to do it.
yeah.
All right, well, you better get some numbers together because the town hall's already looking for numbers.
Yeah. All right, and that's it for capital. I can have a wish list of many things, but we've got some big projects ahead of us that are.
Yeah.
That really needs to be a priority, I think.
Yeah. Yep,
Yeah, we gotta get that done, for sure. Then we can start using that new tank.
What, have you been checking, how much water's in it right now?
I wanna say I think it's at 80.
80%?
Yeah.
So we haven't had any trouble with ice?
No, well, we're heating underneath. When it got dropped really cold, we started heating underneath. I have a torpedo heater up there. So we heat under the tank.
Keep that standpipe
Yeah,
hot.
because it's
warm.
not insulated, the bottom is just the concrete, it's not insulated, so. It worked in the previous years when we've had worse winters.
But the water in the tank up top is probably frozen.
Yeah, it's probably, and we can regulate that now, so if we get a warm day, which I think we're supposed to have a couple this week,
Yeah.
we can drain some out and then send some in, and that I can write off as unaccounted for. Well, it's accounted for.
Yeah, you can take it
Water
off
loss.
as the unaccounted.
Right,
You got a place you can dump it now
yep,
without flooding out a neighbor?
yeah, and I would prefer to send it out the back into the overflow, but that project, the farm is still caught between the builder and the thing, so I don't wanna ask nothing of the builder. When it gets released to the homeowners association, then I'll ask them if I can tie in, and we'll hire Watson to tie us in, just to stub in a stub, and then we'll run the pipe over to the overflow area. That way we could just open up the valve on the back of the tank and let it go out, instead of having to hook up to a hydrant to a drain.
Alright. So you got any more on the capital budget?
No,
How about the regular budget?
no. It's about as fixed as it's gonna get.
How much longer do we have on the, iron removal plant and the Spring Street tank painting, do you know?
The Spring Street tank was still out there, that's
That's
several
up there.
more years, yeah, I remember seeing that still, that number's still up, I think it's around 600,000.
Was it
Still
last
owed?
year we took off an extra 100,000 on that?
Yeah,
We threw some extra money in. So what do you think, another 3 years on that one?
yeah, that was a 10-year note.
Yeah, maybe we had an extra 100,000, we threw that on there just to bring the principal down a little bit.
Did
That
we pay it
helps
down,
our
or we
interest.
set that aside for the next tank
You
painting?
know, we put it on the note.
Yeah, we put it to take it down, so we'd be paying as much on the principal.
So we'd save some interest.
Yep, we save a little bit more every year.
Painting tank.
Yeah, then we'll,
So there were 2 tank paintings, so that's, the total of them is about $560,000.
Left,
Yeah,
Is that what?
that'll be after this next year's payment though, not,
so 3 years after this next year's payment.
yep.
So we must have been up around 7 or 8, if we put 100 on it, plus we made a few years payments.
I wanna
I
say
thought it was $1
that
million, wasn't
it
it?
was 1.4 for
Oh, okay.
the big tank, and it was 500 and something for the smaller tank. Yeah, that's why it kind of croaked the budget when it hit it,
Yeah,
'cause it wasn't a 30-year note, it was a 10-year note.
So, yeah, it's good to get it out of the way.
Yeah,
What about the, iron removal plant?
so the iron removal plan is paying off.
yeah, it's our last payments.
This is it?
We this
Yep.
year.
Good.
And then we get to do it all
Well, I
over
know,
again.
at least that was done.
But yeah, at least we'll stop paying for what's already been done when we start paying for the new stuff.
well, we did the same thing with the corrosion control buildings. We built those things for years. We used all our free cash. We borrowed a little money, paid it off. We finally got them all built, then we needed an iron removal plant. It was like, oh my God, we just got done with all the corrosion control, now we built an iron removal plant.
And I have been in, so I sent out packets to all of our legislative people, and I've heard back from, I don't know what it is, but Senator Lynch.
Yep,
Yeah,
Yep,
So I've heard back from his office, but there's currently nothing the only things out there aren't applicable to us. But there's a few things, I guess, coming up. Just trying to stay in everybody's ear.
oh, doesn't hurt.
No,
I mean, surprised you at least got a response from somebody.
yeah, I got a response from Governor Bakers, but it was because I sent it to everybody, because you can't get to him directly, or I don't know his email address or so I sent to his office and his subordinates. So I heard back from his subordinates.
now what about Michelle Dubois?
She's not our thing anymore.
she isn't?
I think I remember hearing
Yeah,
that she was glad to be
I
with
thought
us.
that just got redistricted,
Yeah,
although, I mean,
I have
right,
to figure out who it is now, and then I'll send them a packet.
Oh, jeez.
Geez, cause she was pulling for us pretty high.
Yeah, she was. We finally had somebody pulling for us.
So they redistricted?
they
Yeah.
changed that district, and I thought, yeah, we're still tied in with a bunch of Brockton, but
She's not part of it.
she's not part of it anymore.
Huh. Who is it? Who is
I
that?
don't know,
Huh.
cause that thing just came out 3 weeks ago. I thought
Yeah,
that's
because
when
that
I
was
remember
part of the
seeing it.
census,
What, the
redid
redistricting?
that.
Yeah,
Alright, your job is to find out who it is.
Yeah.
yeah, your job, on top of all the other ones.
Find out who it is and invite them to a meeting.
All right, so, job posting.
So I gave you a posting, I mean, we did this thing, took us 2 years to find somebody. So the last posting we did,
That's the same one.
right, I just changed the title. Instead of calling it maintenance, I called it a water technician.
After last search for an employee, how's everything working out there?
He's good, and we should probably, he has his first license, he has his distribution 1 license. He's gonna take the, you can't sit for the 2 yet until he, so he'll take the T1 once he has some money, but we should probably bump his pay so we don't lose him anywhere.
Okay,
Our pay is fairly good. When their thing comes up again, then I'll nudge you guys to either push up the stipend or we should separate. The title is wrong, it's just wrong. They're not laborers, and
Yeah.
plain and simple. And it's not another group that he'd have to negotiate with, because you're pretty much gonna follow whatever the town does anyways, except for stipends and whatever else.
are we, the plant operators in other towns, are they making much more than what we're paying here for our labor?
We're right around it. We're close, so they pay, usually their hourly rate is up, but our stipend kinda makes up for that, but you don't get overtime on the stipend, but
Right,
it's pensionable, so it goes towards your pension.
right.
So it counts for a lot of things in the long run. So that kinda helps, as long as, I mean, if you get all of your licenses here, it's an extra $11,000 in pay, which is good, but if you don't have a tractor trailer license, then it's $6,000, and that's why it was geared that way, so that somebody would spend the money and go out and get the license, and then you make your money back over the years.
What's the guy's name we just hired?
Brendan.
Brendan,
Brendan, yeah. Where's he from?
at Abington? Yeah,
Good, that's working out, huh?
yeah, no, he was what he was on paper.
Was, alright.
But once again, we should probably bump his pay to like the 3rd step.
Is he fitting in?
He fits in, yes.
He's eager to learn and
Yeah,
work at it?
yeah, no, yeah,
If he wasn't, you'd be telling us.
yeah, he's not, like, we knew right away he didn't seem to like the physical part of it, but, you know, there's enough guy, if you have the full crew, then it's not, you don't have one guy sitting down there trying to break rock all the time. And there's enough technical stuff to keep him interested.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of things that I just have to feel him out to see that he can do them.
So he is a technical guy?
Yeah, you can get him to expound on things, and then you might be sorry you did, but.
No, I get that impression that when we were interviewing him, but,
Yeah.
you know, there's gonna be a lot more technical stuff coming up with all the rest of this too, so we wanna keep him
Right.
interested and not looking to go elsewhere too.
How's Kenny doing?
Kenny is good. The 2 of them actually probably spend a lot of time at the Manley Street plant when they can, and we're not doing stuff outside.
So they're learning the Manley Street plant a
Yeah.
lot better. Because the
Yeah.
more time they spend in there, the more they learn.
Right.
Now, you wanna do a regular, just same way we advertised the last one, because back before when we did those interviews, we did have that other kid. Did you wanna talk to him first, or see if he wants to just put this out and see what we get?
I'd rather put it up and see what we got.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out, the description finally worked out, so.
Right. It's just trying to, I think the thing that Indeed auto-populates, and it just slams you with things if you, somewhat of a match.
Yeah, and they're pretty generous on what they call a match.
Right.
When you start looking through those resumes and stuff, what's in them compared to what you're asking for.
Although I had an interest in karate, and I really did want to learn how to cook some authentic cuisine.
I always wanted to be a prison guard, but
Actually, when I came here, I had the choice because I was accepted there. But you have to go through the basic training first, so you're not guaranteed a spot at the end if you don't make it through. So
yeah,
it was the job with a possible job.
Okay. So, station 1, 2, 4.
Alright, so the DEP rejected, well, they rejected it with points for the pilot study. So the Tatterhouse was supposed to go back and sit with Jim. One was like an engineering stamp, the other was for a backflow preventer on the long-term solution, but I mean, you're not definitively into plans yet. So they were gonna go back and talk with him.
Isn't DEP the one that was complaining that the project we weren't doing the pilot study and everything fast enough?
Well, so this one, because we're not over on PFAS they're concentrating more on PFAS than they are on manganese or iron. So right now so they're gonna go back to him and talk to him on his rejecting that.
Yeah.
And see if they can't turn his head. And they know that Jim's kind of he's a bookworm kind of guy. Just when you thought, because I've seen him through the years before he became the head. And each year he learned a little more and got a little worse, so. But he's not an unreasonable guy.
Alright, station 3.
So when I saw the pilot study get rejected for Manley Street, I realized that I hadn't seen a pilot study go to DEP, but I guess they've been in discussions with them. The DEP wants them to calculate the bed length first of the XI or the IX media first, to see how long it's gonna last before they'll approve that. So that's what the company is working out the numbers now. They asked for some information on, how much iron and manganese.
What the water quality was?
Right, so I gave that all to them and they have that now.
Oh, that's the one I was thinking about, that the DEP was pressing us.
Yeah,
Time
no, they're
on there.
Yep, no, they're on that one.
Okay, I thought it was that one there we were talking, when they were pushing us on time.
Yeah.
And then you said they were holding us up for a backflow preventer and stuff, and it didn't seem to make sense. Update of the replacement well.
So that went up so the contract was awarded. I know they've ordered parts because all of the stuff has been signed, so. And we have Station 2 back up and running. So they can come in and do it whenever they're ready.
You know, if they're having trouble getting any of the parts,
I haven't heard any feedback yet.
Asset management grant.
So they talked about that. They're supposed to send something, and I didn't see it this week so far. And I didn't see it last week, but they're supposed to send some more because they realized that went to the back burner, trying to get our non taken care of in the PFAS.
Walnut Street tank, I think we already discussed that.
Yep.
Lincoln Street, have you heard anything from anybody
That
since
one,
they were in there?
that one's silent.
That figures.
Where were we at with it? I forget.
Remember he came in and we told him what
We told them what we wanted.
we wanted, we were bringing the water line down, and we weren't gonna let him go in the back way the way he wanted to. And he said he was gonna go back and talk to everybody about it, and we never heard a word.
So I don't know whether he's hung up with the MIPA. I know that they
He
took,
seemed receptive. Maybe they're just busy with other stuff.
Yeah. but I know he wasn't in a hurry, but he was in a hurry.
Yeah.
I know they took possession of the house up on West
West
Center, because we spotted it when the other guys were doing their tap up to the apartment building, being boarded up, so I reached out to them and asked if we could shut the water off before we had it coming out the back door.
So they bought Dempsey's house.
Well, not Dempsey's, there's the spare lot on the corner where the sign has always been
Oh,
there.
yeah.
And then there's the next house, they
Oh,
bought
the
that.
two-family?
Yeah, that was part of the land, yeah.
Oh, was that gray two-family?
Yeah, I guess they had an issue with the lady had like 40 cats or something, and they were trying to find some place to get her too.
Oh, I didn't know they were buying that house too.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that. Huh. That, I thought that was, not Hepshe, John Peck's used to own that.
No, I think it was part of the Cumberland, it was part of that land.
Yeah, I know Cumberland owned that whole thing, and I thought John Peck, being part of Cumberland, he owned that in his name, separate.
Yeah,
Huh. But
I'm
they,
surprised because that's not part of the project, is it, that? land?
no, but that would probably be part of their strip mall, because remember they talked about running a sprinkler line
Yeah.
off in that direction.
they are talking about building something else in there.
Right.
Hmm.
Traffic wasn't bad enough up there, and it won't be much worse with that light. Just throw in a strip mall.
Now, when they committed to the sidewalk down Lincoln Street, who
I don't know.
was
if
it
they-
asking for that, the selectmen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the selectmen were asking for it, but they didn't seem to think that they had to do anything until after the building was all built, and then they were gonna come back and build a sidewalk, maybe.
Wasn't that, I
That
wasn't
was
involved.
part, that was part of the TIF.
Was that part of the TIF?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
They
when
didn't seem to want to
Denise
do
was
it.
here, she thought that they were supposed, she told us, they were supposed to be putting the sidewalk in.
Oh, yeah, when we were at the selectmen's meeting there to go over, that's the same thing. They were completely under the impression that, no, that was supposed to.
But when we
be
talked to
done.
him, it didn't seem to be cast in stone.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't, they didn't, I don't think they really agreed to do anything with the selectmen. I think they,
I mean, that stuff's all, if it's in the TIF, it's supposed to all be down in
Should be
writing,
in writing, yeah.
so.
should be. I called Denise a couple times after we met, and I wanted to tell her what we had discussed with the guy, that we said we wanted to have him put the sidewalk down to the side of the road and put the water main in under the sidewalk, but she never called me back. So I called her twice, and I figured, what the heck with it, but doesn't seem to me that the selectmen really know what they're getting or what they're not getting.
They didn't seem to be pushing for it, I don't know. Maybe they think they got it, but didn't seem cast in stone when we talked to him.
No, and it seems funny that
He didn't seem to know what
we're
was-
pushing for the sidewalk they want.
Yeah.
We're pushing harder than they are. I don't know.
It seems, I don't know. It didn't seem like he really got into engineering on it or anything, you know?
No,
He didn't know what side of the street it was gonna be on, didn't know if wetlands was an issue,
And when I talked to John,
Delano.
Delano.
yeah, that's right, you said that at the last meeting.
You said it wasn't a problem.
He said, I can't think, I've been down through there and I don't see any problems. He said the only place you're gonna hit wetlands is where the culvert goes across the road.
Right.
And he said you could ask to extend that culvert. He said, I don't see that that would be an issue, but he said they just need to come in and meet with us, and nobody's ever come to talk to us. He said nobody's even asked him about it. I'm the only one that asked him about it.
Yeah.
And
So
I'm
what did
surprised
they-
the selectmen didn't say something to him if they're the ones who wanted the sidewalk.
Right.
So do we hold them up when they do the intersection to get an answer for the rest of this, or how does this work?
I would. I'd say, no, you can't start anything till
Till we know what you know.
what you're doing.
Right.
I was surprised, weren't they planning to try to be in there already?
Yeah.
By August of,
No, I mean, as far as in the intersection, I thought they were
But they
planning.
Yeah,
can't,
they
they can't
wanted
do
to
it
have
this
that
time of
done.
year, I don't
They
think.
wanted to do that earlier this
I
year.
don't think they can open the road up, can they?
well, now we're dead in the winter, but they wanted to have it done before we reached December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously that's not happening, so.
No.
It's
I
got
would
real-
think they'd be chomping at the bit, for when can they open the road, April?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, technically, so it seems that they don't really close it anymore.
They don't?
Really?
They do, but they
State?
don't.
State does, don't they? Oh.
Yeah, because you
Depends on
don't
the
want a
project.
plate out there when it's gonna snow and.
I'm gonna tell you, they really need to close it for the winter, because if you put down a steel plate in the middle of the road and somebody's pushing a plow down the road
Yep.
and they hit that plate, somebody's gonna get hurt.
They might allow it if they can redirect traffic and it's not the construction area, but
Yeah.
something like
Up-
that, I
Up
don't
in
know.
that area?
Up in that area, knock on,
No,
I can't see them doing any work up there in the winter.
that's
I
gonna be
can see
messing
some
in the middle of
guy-
summer, so it's
Yeah.
not.
Whipping along with a 10-wheeler or something with a plow, a big plow, and hit one of those plates. Huh, what a mess that'll make. So,
I would think they'd be hot to go in April unless that project's cooling off, but.
Our leaks and stuff are always a disaster in the middle of the winter when we gotta
Yeah.
try to blacktop them and get the plate on, get the plate off fast enough. As soon as it looks like it's gonna snow out, jeepers crow.
Oh, you know, when they start digging, stuff that's on those plans is not gonna be where it shows on the plans. When they
Right.
open up the ground, and they'll be digging bigger holes and.
So the 40B, Wayne, they got tapped?
Yeah, they're tapped.
They're all set? They got
Yeah.
up on the Friend Street?
Yeah, they're gonna fill it and chlorinate it going through this weekend, and then they'll test next week.
Did you hear the latest one about the 40Bs? They changed the regulations, the state regulations on those?
No.
They do, make you have even higher percentages.
Yeah.
Well, there should be a higher percentage.
Um,
Of affordable, the 25% does nothing for you.
they're making it, let me see. Let's see what West Bridgewater is. How many?
Well, you don't know how much has to do in the project, how high
How
the
the
town
percentage
has,
of the
how much
town.
the town has to have.
2020 and 20 minimum unit capacity requirement. West Bridgewater.
Was it, it's 10% now.
It says 2020 housing 2,891. How many houses do we have in town? About 2,800?
Probably less, probably around 2,700, because it's gonna be less than our taps, maybe around 26.
They got a number here, 2,891. Minimum unit capacity requirement, 750.
So I thought it was 10% affordable we had to have, wasn't it? Once you had 10%.
You have to have 10% to not be subject to the
And then you don't
40B.
have to allow 40Bs anymore. But the way they count affordable is a little bizarre.
The target number of multifamily units South Shore towns would have to allow under preliminary new state zoning rules.
Oh, that's not even affordable.
Oh, okay, that's
the
what
other
I thought, that's
no,
just multiple family.
Yeah, that's not a new regulation though, that's what they're trying to push to get more multifamily stuff around.
Oh, so this is for more multifamily?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And what is that at?
They want to make, so you get more housing, instead of having single-family housing, they want you to change the zoning so you can put multifamilies on the single-family
Small
house.
Districts must consist of at least 50 acres of buildable land.
Yeah, they basically want to take away local zoning and make, require you to have stuff by the state.
So they want some of these single-family lots to be two-family lots.
Yeah.
So instead
So
of,
kind of like what they're doing up at Scotland Street, that one we were just looking at, same thing, they're putting they're trying to push
duplexes.
more duplexes, because on the same size lot, you got
You got an apple
couple
phone?
families.
no.
No, I'm gonna send this to you. This chart.
But the 40Bs, that when they count affordable housing in this town, they don't count your apartments. Those are cheaper than the affordables on a 40B, and they don't count them.
I know.
They're not counted. I don't even think the trailer parks.
No, the trailer parks are
Yeah, they don't
specifically
count that, they should.
excluded by the law, because I remember back when Beth was here, they spent all kinds of time trying to fight with the state to get them to count the trailers.
They don't count both
They-
those trailer parks.
They don't get counted.
Or the apartments that have been here for
Because
100 years.
Supposedly, if we had those trailer parks counted, would have been over the 10%,
Yeah,
way back.
How do you not count that as affordable
It's
housing?
not, something about the way, it's not a house the way they define it for the housing.
Only the state of
yeah, it's not
Massachusetts.
sitting on, it's
Yeah.
not sitting on a slab, they're raised up.
So you can't
If
count
they-
it.
What about the apartments that are here, and all these buildings that are 100, 200 years old, that have been apartments for years, and they don't count those?
No,
And they're cheaper, most of those, the rent for those is cheaper than what's the affordable in the 40B project.
Well, actually, is it more of the, you do get better on like the big affordable ones. If it's apartments, they count all the apartments, not just the affordable ones.
Yes, they do, yeah.
So you
If
get,
it's an
you get,
apartment
you do get it
40B,
on that. 'Cause-
they do account,
Yeah.
they do count 100%, like the turn at Riverbend is 100%. We get 100% of those goes towards our account.
But then,
All the units
All,
or just
yeah,
the?
all the
no,
units.
all
if it's an apartment
Yeah.
building
If it's an
under a
apartment, that's
40B,
right, I forgot that.
they don't have to make them, they have to make whatever it is, 20% or 25%
25%
affordable.
affordable.
But then you get credit for all the units.
All of those units go towards our
okay.
account, yeah.
But then you lose other ones, you know, they start out affordable and the rents go up, after a while, they don't count as affordable anymore. So, it's a mess.
Once they're
Basically,
affordable,
we're never gonna get out from under it, basically.
unless you get one big project.
You'd have to build something like the size of, you know, a
They
housing
were
project.
talking at one point something where this warehouse is going.
Yeah.
That would've got us out of
Huge
the-
septic system, that wouldn't.
Well, that's what usually kills those things in
Right.
town. None of that stuff at the end of Walnut Street that they're talking about, none of that's affordable, is it?
No, not that I know.
That's just a straight subdivision.
Right.
Yep, so you add more houses and don't get any more, right?
We'll get some credit for that, for the two guys that were here the other day, are gonna build one next to the,
Yeah, there'll be some.
they got some credit for that.
Yeah, it'd take a lot for us to get out of there. But by the time that happens, our schools will be overloaded anyway, so.
Well, it could happen when the Scotland Street finally fills out. Those are all 3-4 bedroom things.
Well, that's the thing, when they started, you know, oh no, there's small lots, they're gonna be few, smaller, not as many
No.
bedrooms, and then lots stayed the same, but the bedrooms all kinda went up.
Yep.
Where's that, in Scotland Street?
Scotland Street.
Yeah, I saw one of the houses being built in there, huge.
Yeah, I think one of them sold for like $900,000.
You can't tell me people buying those are not
I
gonna
can't
have kids.
imagine that on that postage stamp lot.
How much it go
900,000.
for? Ay,
Like the taxes, they're probably about 20,000 a year. I don't know who affords that, but it's not me.
Nope.
And they're gonna have kids.
Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay.
I think school choice has even gone away now, has it?
No,
In West Bridgewater, not
But if
yet?
we get enough kids coming in,
Yeah,
we're
bump
gonna,
it.
Oh, they said it's gonna go away.
yeah.
But you can't get rid of the kids that you already got. You can never turn them down.
Good, we get money for them.
Yeah.
I mean, every one of those that we have kids move into town that,
Right,
Can't-
no, but I mean, once you take them in as a first grader.
oh yeah,
owe
you've gotta
them till they're
carry them if
seniors.
they wanna stay.
So the last one we already discussed that, it's
Yeah.
part of Walnut Street.
Right.
So do we just wait to hear on Lincoln Street, or?
Yeah.
We're waiting to hear back from them, right?
Right.
It's in their ballpark.
He said he was gonna come back with the plans, and we haven't heard since.
I wanna hear they're ready to dig and we're holding them up.
Yeah, now tell them, if they come in and say they're ready to dig, say, no, you're not, we haven't seen your finished plan.
Right.
You said you're coming back with a plan, that's where we're at.
Yep.
I'm surprised the selectmen haven't, tried to coordinate with us with what they're looking for and what we're looking for.
Well, they did their own thing with Horizon Beverage and the Honda and the Hyundai place. And then we didn't end up getting it.
Yeah, they ended up in Brockton.
Of course, the Honda place, the lot's empty. And the Hyundai place, I don't think they have any Hyundais on the lot.
They don't?
No, they're all used cars.
Oh,
A
really?
lot of deals,
Yeah.
Like the Honda place, they couldn't wait that site work the way it was.
Right.
Where that was trying to go in.
He sold all that. The guy that came in here,
Yeah.
he doesn't own that anymore. They got sold to somebody else. Well, the guy we were dealing with, doesn't even own the thing when it's done. All right, do I hear anything else that can be brought up at this meeting legally? Anybody got any questions for Wayne? What about our next meeting?
It is February 7th,
When is it?
Monday, February 7th.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.